The treatment start date. Okay, the treatment start date is uninitialized and treatment EDT/TTC is initialized. So let's check. So Y is initialized and the 1136 treatment values have been converted to character values at the places given by line. So this is why this one is character. Okay, so the two variables are initialized, which means these variables are not matched. So let me check what exactly it is. Is there right? TR/ST/DTC. TR. Okay, here it should be. So I change this one to like this. And this one is okay. The next one is ADTC. That's not it. Where is this one? ADTC. One second, I'm checking ADTC. So is there. Okay, so all of them is okay. It's coming that one. Here, maybe this one. Treatment EDTC. Okay, so this is the one we having a mistake here. So I'll take this one. And I take this one, I take this one, and I take. So, okay, like this it change. Okay, so next we run this one. Okay, now we have created the variables. Okay. So the next step is, so as per SAP, so this one, if the missing base is, okay, okay, so forward. So if the partial date contains a different month from the date of the first study dose, okay, so we need to input it at the first day of the month. So this is the first one. Okay, let's do this one. If missing of, okay, yeah, wow. Sorry. All right, so the first imputation is if the partial date contains a different month. So for example, from the date of the first dose. So for example, the date is, let's say for example, 2018, okay, 04 for the month, and the 23 is the date. Okay, this is the AE start date. Let's imagine as a AE start date, and the and the treatment start date is
end date.
Yeah, treatment start date. I'm talking about the treatment.
Yeah.
So to study dose is the treatment start date. So if the partial date contains a different month, so this is a different month. Okay, 05 is the May, and here is April. Okay, if you have like that, you have to input it as a first day of the month. Okay, first day of the month. If it is this 04, because here is a date is missing, right? So you input it as a first day of the, like 01, like that. So you have to input it. Okay. So you have to go step by step, or if it is the same month, if it is same year, you have to go input it like that, because you will be have many records. You don't know which one is the right one. Okay, which one is the same month, or which one is not the same, different month, which one is the year is missing. So you, for example, if you have, because here is only 7 subjects, but if you have a multiple, like maybe 1,000 subjects on that time, you cannot do like this. Okay, so you have to go like this way. You have to like programmatically explain that it does everything. Okay, so if the missing of the date, okay, the missing of the start date, so this is the date we have created, like here, for the date is missing for the start date. Then miss, this is a character missing. Okay, if we don't have missing of year and a month, okay, so you can check what is the function of the CMIS in the Google. Okay, it will give the syntax equal to 0. So if this is not a missing character, if you have a 0, which means these are not missing. Okay, then do if, what is asking, if the month is the same thing. Okay, if the month is the same as treatment, okay, TRT, ma'am, this is the treatment, sorry, treatment start month. If it is equal, okay, let's imagine as if it is equal, then this month, sorry, we are inputting DD, right? So treatment DD, the date we have for the treatment start date, it will be the same date for the month. If it is month is same, okay, if it is month is same as per the SAP, if contain the same month as the date of the first, then input date as the first dose. Okay, and the same, like the same date as the first dose. Okay, if it is the same month, if it is the same month of the AE start date with the first dose, then input it as a first dose. So that's why we did it. So here, if the month is the same, then we do the same date as the treatment start date. Okay, so you understand, right?
Yeah.
Else, if a month is not same, okay, if month, yeah, just 1 second. 1 minute, I'm just checking the lot. Yeah, I can put any, but you can do like, not equal to in this. So not equal to month. Okay, then A start date equal to
01.
0. Okay. And here, when you do any kind of imputations, as per the implementation guideline, you need to put some flag. Okay, because you need to know that the variable that, that observation, whichever it is imputed for A start date, for example, here is the day is missing. So you will be get new variable. That observation after that you will be put D as a date. This observation, particular observation, was imputed, and that is the indicator that what is imputed, the date is imputed. So for that reason, you need to put one variable like ASTDT. If you go to the implementation, you will be find there. So you put as D because we are imputing as a D. So A and also started imputation flag. Okay, it's not E. So like that, you do imputation for date. Okay. Else, if the month is okay, if character miss of both. So this is the function you have to use it in case if the date and also the month is missing. So I'm not using the 0 here. I'm using 2. So you need to check the CMIS functionality. If it is 2, because these two variables are missing, okay, character missing, and not missing of year. This is the case, then do. So I'm talking about this part. So this part, date and month. If the partial date contains a different year from the date of the first, then imputed as December 31st. If that contains the same year, then the imputed as the missing date month of the same thing as the first dose. The same thing as the first dose. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. So if the month and the date is missing, okay, if year is the same, let's imagine as year is same for treatment start year, okay, then do. So both month and the date will be the same as a treatment started, okay, then equal to same month. Yeah, it is confusing initially, but when you go like step by step, then you can understand it. So here the flag would be M because we are doing both date and missing date and month. So that's the reason we put M. M it consider both date and month. Okay. So up to here you okay, right? So if the both, so this part is done. So this one is done, and if the year is only missing, okay, we have forget. If it is not missing, what would you do? Okay. So here is not equal to we put not equal, right? So the same thing else if. Okay. So if is not okay, not equal to treatment start here, then do. So this part. If the partial date contains a different year from the date of the first day, then imputed the missing day and the month as a December 31st. So 12/31st you have to put it, okay? This one would be December, right? December. This one would be 31st. And the same thing as a month. Okay, so I do the same other part, which is the last one, which is this one. I send the date of the study. If the year is missing, okay, then you put the same thing as the first dose. If C miss of factor miss. So we are missing everything right now, even the date, okay, month, and year. So I can put like this. So,
right?
yeah, I'm just in 1 second. So here 180 month and day is missing. Okay, it is okay. So here, yeah, else if year and is so here if it is month and everything is missing, go to maybe three variables. So then do the same. So DD will be DD. Okay. Month will be. So we are assuming the same thing. All the treatment related. I mean the date. Okay. Month. And if it is year is missing, year. So here is everything. Year is main thing side. So year part is we're keeping the flag. So do you understand, right?
Yeah. It would be nice if there is some data missing. It would be easy for us to understand. But
Yeah, but anyway, I'm giving
yeah,
here. You see here, I'm giving on the top is the days
yeah,
missing,
yeah.
month is this, and year is and month and
Yeah,
everything
it's
is missing.
clear, Ali. Like, it's not that I did not understand. I understood.
So now we're going to do the analysis start date. Okay. The why do we have to create the analysis start date as per the specification? This is the one we are creating because the analysis start date I can give directly because as when I check the data table, there are no imputation, there are no partial dates. So I can give directly ASTDT equal to AE STDTC. But now, in case in some scenario, if you have a partial dates, we need to derive this analysis start date. Okay, analysis start date. If you have a partial date, then only we need to do all this kind of analysis, all this imputation, those things. That's the reason we are creating the analysis start date. So the analysis start date will be the basically you combining all, the AESTDTT. So I think it's confusing, right? So for example, so here we don't have any imputations. Okay, so AE start date we don't have imputations. So for our project, ASTDT directly will be if it is integer. So this is numeric, right? So if it is integer and that is a character, so you put AESTDTC. You put like maybe IS it's 601 dear dot. Okay, so this works for our project. But why when you need to create a analysis start date, if you have any partial dates, you have to go all these things because we need to create at the end analysis start date. That's the reason we are creating everything. So if you have a partial dates, if you have a days missing, if his month is missing, if his year is missing, how we did the imputation, the same thing we have to like once you did all those imputation, then you combine at the end because at the end you won't be have any kind of missing values. Okay, then you create your the required variables, the required a analysis start date. So we don't need this information right now. So I'm concatenating with one hyphen. Okay, so strip off, so a start date. Okay, strip off month. So you know, right, catx function, what does it do? It can concatenate, right? So strip off. So when you do like this, you will be have full date even if you have partial dates.
Mhm.
Okay, so we go to the our input of analysis start date. Okay. So up to now we see. There was one unclosed do block exactly. Okay. 117, 118, 185. So I know. Hala ko jana. 117. So here then do is that right. 117, 185. Is there any do end statement is missing somewhere?
Or it has to be else if, right? No.
Where? Maybe here.
Then do.
Okay, so we do first. Okay, so if then do this one, else if, and here is the do block is done, and okay, if
Okay.
so, if character missing is this one, then do. So I put okay. If just so else if maybe this one. And sorry, now it's okay. Okay, so where exactly we went wrong? So invalid argument input function 1427 column 7 1427. Invalid argument. Fifteen 36. Why is not concatenating this? This one. Okay, so 81 variables have been created. So that's why this one is not working. YYMMTD format why is not working? Input off. It does work right. So let me check this. Okay, so we put year for date first. Sorry, so we have to put the year first.
I think even up also, Ali.
Where?
I don't think that should be an issue. Actually.
Yeah, it's okay now. Okay, so we done with AESTDDC. So we have done with imputations as per the SAP. Okay, so we do the same thing with AENDTC. So you remember we have some other information here. Assign the last day of the month or end of the study date, whichever is earlier, if it's the missing of the end date. Okay. I'm gonna take this part. Yeah, it's too big, right? So okay, so AENDTC. So you do the same thing, you strip so AENDTC. So send the last day of the month or end of the study date, whichever is earlier. Set the last day of the month. So AEEN, okay, year. So I'm just directly taking the year part, okay. So I'm not mentioning anything like if. You can mention if length. So like that. Okay, so AENDTC. Like that, you divide with the so end of the date, okay. So we don't need to do much of it. So the first one is, let's say for example 2018. We don't need to do much about for the same thing with standard date. We just divide like this. Okay, so let's say for example the day is missing, end day is missing. Okay, so how would you do that if it is end day is missing for the AENDTC? Okay, if missing of okay and CMIS of okay, so the year also present. If the year and the month is present and the day is missing, okay, then do. We need to create some temporary variables because we are not doing the same thing as the start date, because the end date will be have a different end dates, right? Because assign the last day of the month. Okay, assign the last day of the end of the study date, whichever is earlier. So the last day of the month in every month it will be different. Okay, so here is 30. So the next one you may have 31. So in the February you may have 28. Okay, so it's not like the similar like standard day. So we need to do in different way. So for that you need to create some temporary variables like temp1. Okay, input of catex. Okay, so strip of. So the first one year part. So we just if the day is missing, we're just creating the same thing how we did the the start date. So the same thing we did. The strip of month. Okay. With a 0, 1. Okay. So if like I'm just creating the temporary variable, so don't be confusing it here. Okay. So I'm just dd format because we're using the input function. Okay. So do you know, guys, the entx function? Entx function. So there is a function called entx. In the interview, they will ask you how do you imputate for the date missing and what function do you use. So if you use this function, it does automatic for the month. Okay. So you better check in the Google. You will be know more about this function. Okay. So you check character missing and also check with the intex function.
Yeah.
Okay. So strip off, put off. So here is a month. Okay. So and the temporary variable, which is the temporary variable we have created with the combined of 0, 1 initially. Okay. And 0. So you check the intex function syntax. If you check that one, you can understand. Okay, like this, because this is the end of the month it's applying. So the month we are mentioned here, and there is end of the month for the date. Okay, because we're changing again to the character. Okay, then so we are doing the date, right? So the date is, so min function we use. I'm just taking the patch code. Okay, I'm not doing like memorize. I just memorize this one. I'm just doing as a patch code. I'm not sure it can work, but I will check. Okay, so I'm taking the stopwatch here, 9th position, because I'm doing with the date format. So 9th and 2. Okay. So this is the patch code. Don't worry. Usually they will give the patch code, but usually when you applying any kind of end date, so we usually use this tnx function. So you just have to be remember this one only. Okay. So in the interview they will ask you which function do you use. So you just say this intex function with some syntax, month and end. So when you say like that, it will be enough. So you don't need to explain everything in the syntax wise. But when you do in the real time also, you can use this patch code for your program. You need to do the end day missing. Okay. So ANDTF. equal to D, because this is the day is missing. Okay. You understand, right?
Yeah.
For you, you just need to memorize this one, and you take this as a patch code. Okay. Because it's confusing. You don't, sometimes you don't understand. Even for me also, I don't follow exactly. I just memorize only. Because it is very hard to do the imputation for end part, because every month it will be different. So if you use this patch code, it's going to be enough. Okay. So for example, so the date is missing. So the both and date are missing. Let's say for both and date and month is missing. Both and date and month is missing. So we have a time. We can continue tomorrow. I'm not sure. 3 minutes there. Okay. So else if character is off. Same thing how we did that before. So end of the month is missing, not missing here. Then do assign December 31st or end of the study day, whichever is earlier. Okay, so end of the December 31st or end of the study date, whichever is earlier. Okay, so here so month equal to 12 and the date is equal to December 31st. Okay. So I'm use min function. It's like that. Okay, so the flag would be M. So the finally the last one is if end day, end month, end year is missing. End is missing, assign end of the study date. So you just simply assign the study date. Okay. Okay, so so this should be so the month, date, treatment ended. You have to assign if it is a month.